Go.
Now you should be in a position where you understand in more detail what it is that's expected of you. From here, you really need to take it down to another level in more detail and itemize every single thing that is required that you, through your current understanding of the problem or the project or the initiative, to get it to the solution that you're trying to achieve. This is because everything requires effort, and effort is time, and time is money. You are running a business now, and you need to think that way. So I'm going to give you a small example of what I mean by itemizing stuff. So if we think about receiving feedback from a client, you think it's easy. You receive the feedback in, you implement it, you provide it back to them again for feedback as per your feedback rounds. However, let's really itemize what that looks like, okay? The email comes in from the client. You review it and you interpret it. So there's some thinking there. You might have questions that you want to ask your client. Then you need to go back to them through either an email, or you might have to set up a phone call to clarify any of the comments that you're unsure of. There might be some back and forth there. When you're clear on that, you're then able to go and implement the feedback. Then you're going to have someone check that you've implemented the feedback correctly. Maybe you've interpreted wrong. Maybe there was one that was a little bit hard and you said you'd come back to and you forgot to go back to it. So you want someone to double check that you've done what was required to you as per the client feedback. Then you're going to publish or upload and wait for your internet to catch up and get it online. And then you're going to draft an email and you're going to send that back to your client. Now, one round of implementing client feedback, you can see how many things are involved in actually turning that around as a full task. Each item requires its own time stamp as well. So opening and interpreting an email, it might be 15 minutes. Back and forth scheduling meetings, that could be unknown. You need to allow that time. There could be 3 hours to implement the feedback. Typing up an email to send them something back could be 20 minutes, could be half an hour by the time your file actually uploads. So you need to think about every single little step that you need to do, because that is your time and that is your effort and that is money that is owed to you for the services that you are undertaking. Once you have your itemized list of tasks, it's kind of your project milestones broken down. Some people will use a Gantt chart and things like that to make it happen. Then you need to think about, okay, how many hours are each of these things going to take me? And then what's my hourly rate? And then multiply it out into a total line. Add that stuff up. Then you want to add another section underneath, which is kind of your project expenses. So will I need subcontractors? Do I need any licenses for the project? Do I have to travel at all? Am I going to have petrol, accommodation, all that kind of stuff that is a little bit unexpected and is not necessarily your effort. From there, you want to add your project management in. So generally project management is a percentage of the whole project. So you're going to have a subtotal now, and then you're going to figure out what your project management percentage is. Lots of people are different on this. I've seen anywhere from 10% to 40%. Remember that project management does take time. You know, every time you pick up the phone for a client, every time you're traveling to a meeting, having meetings, anytime you're emailing, this is all project management. So really think about, have I worked with this client before? Do I know it's going to be a smooth sailing process? Therefore, I'm going to just have minimal project management because we really know how each other works. I get them. They don't need as much TLC. For other clients, it might be the first time you've worked with them. You're trying to work out things. They might want project updates like twice a week or something like that. So you want to think about, do your own research for what works for you, but think about then adding that percentage on for the subtotal. And then that's going to give you a total figure, which is your quote figure. Now, a lot of companies here in Australia, it's about GST, goods and services tax. So generally you quote excluding GST, and then that's added on to the total of the quote. but you should specify it because it's 10% and it's a significant amount. So if you say something is $10,000 and they go, yeah, sweet, and you go to invoice them and your invoice with GST then is $11,000, they're going to be like, whoa, hold on a minute. We only had 10,000 approved. That's what we agreed. So really specify this price is inclusive of GST or this price is exclusive of GST. One last thing that I'll add is you should keep a timesheet for everything that you do. For us, we have a timesheet that's broken down to instructional design, implementing feedback, project management, development, quality assurance, graphic design, all that kind of chunks or main categories of tasks that we do. And we keep timesheets for everyone so that we know how much, when we quoted, did the actual project meet that or come in aligned? Because then in future, when we have similar projects, it's very easy for us to go, yeah, that's very similar to a project we've done before. We know it's going to cost this amount and that's what we're going to charge our clients. So having that history and that evidence and that records will really help you in future projects, and it'll only take you a couple of them to be able to then have more effective and accurate quoting as you move forward. So that's how we quote. That's all the things that we kind of consider. There will be things that I say you got to add on or you got to think about depending on the project. So I hope this gives you a foundation and really helps you to take quoting seriously, and also the work and effort that is involved by you guys to produce that output so that you can actually get paid for the quality of work that you're producing. If you guys have some tips or specific questions that you ask your clients or your subject matter experts to help you understand what else I should be quoting on, please add them into the comments and share so that we can all improve our craft in this area, because it is a hard one. And I'll be honest, we're continuously learning. We don't always get it right, but each time we do have lessons learned, and that helps us to be more and more effective. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate the love that you're giving to us. Please share and like. And if it does add value to you, please let other people know about it so that we can also help them on their journey as they learn how to become an instructional designer.
Go.